and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. I'm your host, Tom Nappy. Momentarily, we'll have Jared Keene from the Metrowest Daily News and Andy Barron joining the show. But first, here are some of the latest Hillers highlights from the 2021-2022 fall sports season. Sit back and enjoy. On Wednesday, October 6th, undefeated Hiller girls volleyball took on Millis. Steve Sweetapple and Matt Clancy on the call.
Let's see if Annabelle is serving like she did last game.
Yeah.
Those were bullets.
Another good one.
Set point. Connors handles that. They go outside. And that's it. Hillers take the second set, 25-9.
The Hillers swept through Millis 3-0. Hillers then took on Medway the following Friday on the road and captured a sweep victory. The Hillers now stand at 13 wins and no losses on the season, and they have earned sweeps in 11 of 13 of their victories. Hiller boys cross country stayed perfect with a 19-43 victory over Westwood last Wednesday. They are 4-0 on the season. Hiller girls cross country improved to 3-1 last Wednesday with a 15-50 win over Westwood. On Thursday, October 7th, 7-2-1 Hiller boys soccer hosted Nipmuc under the lights. Both teams exchanged goals in the first half.
Airs it. And there's a shot, and it's deflected. A secondary shot, that is in. Golombuski had the initial shot. And then it was deflected by a defender out of the net, and then it was put in. And I believe that was Andrew Gahn who got the score. 1-0 Hillers. Hillers, they have had it in Nipmuc's attack zone a lot of this half, and that's a header in. And this game is tied.
1-1 at the half, but the Hillers added another pair of goals in the second half.
Along the far side. Hillers working their way back in. Golombuski sends it out, and that is sent in. I believe that might have been deflected in by a Nipmuc warrior. Sent out in front. Bassington trying to work his way in. Takes the shot. Loose ball. And it's booted in by Schnorr. Owen Schnorr makes it a 3-1 game.
Hopkinton took the win 3-1 and picked up their 8th victory of the season. The following day, October 8th, Hiller boys soccer hosted Millis. It was a scoreless game heading into the second half.
Bassington over to Belobreski, sends it up. Pass over by Schnorr. Farrell approaching. Into the box, takes the shot, and it's put in!
Sean Golombuski scores off of a nice cross from Pierce Farrell.
Shaw sends it up. There's a boot by Schnorr, and then it's put in by Farrell off the deflection.
2 goals for the Hillers in the half, and they took the 2-0 shutout victory over Millis to improve to 9-2-1 and get within 1 point of clinching a playoff spot. Also last Friday, Hiller Unified Basketball hit the courts for the first time of the season. They fell to Medway 88-59 but a good time was had by all. Hiller football fell to Norwood last Friday night in a road game 38-16. Hopkinton football now stands at 1-4 on the season. Hiller boys soccer were on the road this past Tuesday and captured a 3-2 victory over Medway. With the win, Hopkinton improved to 10-2-1 on the season and officially clinched a playoff spot. The 8-4-0 Hiller girls soccer team hosted Medway on Tuesday, and just under 6 minutes in, this happened.
Recupero approaching along the end line, and it's pushed towards the net, and that's going to be put in.
Freshman Madison Recupero nets a goal, and she did it again in the second half.
Working up the far side. There's a shot, and Recupero's there. She puts it in. Sent over by Perlov, and Recupero finishes to make it 2-0. Her second goal of the game.
Recupero nets 2 goals, and Hopkinton hangs on for the 2-1 victory over a good Medway team. The Hillers improved to 9-4-0 on the season and are just another win away from clinching a playoff spot. Hillers of the month include girls soccer star Georgina Clark. In a month shortened by injury, Georgina has netted 13 goals and racked up 3 assists. In just 6 games, she recorded 29 shots with an amazing 83% of shots on target. Chase Dixon, also a Hiller of the month. Chase has become a team leader on the cross-country team and is known for getting the team hyped up for their practices and competitions. Congratulations, Georgina and Chase, on a job well done. Hello, everybody. Tom Nappy here, and today we're joined by Hopkinton Hillers boys varsity hockey head coach Scott Hayes. Coach, congratulations on becoming the next head coach of Hillers boys varsity hockey. You must certainly be excited.
I am. Thank you very much, Tom. Very excited to to join the program and help these boys out.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know, can you tell us about your background coaching hockey? You were the girls coach for the Hillers last year. Tell us a little bit about your background.
So background, go back to my playing days quickly. I played my high school hockey at Nobles. I was a captain at Tufts University. After that, joined the workforce. About 10 or 15 years later, I got the opportunity to be an assistant coach at Becker College with the coach that I played for at Tufts. So it was just a great situation for me. I was there for 3 years. I fell in love with the coaching part of the game. It was the most fun that I had since I had played my last meaningful game. From Becker, I actually had to stop at Becker because we were expecting our third child right as the season was starting, and the time commitment was a little bit too tough. But when I left Becker, I started looking for more opportunities because I loved it so much. I did a little bit of club hockey coaching, some high school age kids down in Rhode Island. And then as my kids over the past few years have come of age, we've been heavily involved with the Franklin Youth Hockey Program. I was running the Franklin in-house Mites program here in town. And, now I'm up with the Minuteman Flames as my kids are getting older and coaching here in Franklin still. So I can't get enough of it. I look for any opportunity that I can to get on the ice, to teach the game. I love every minute of it.
And the Hopkinton hockey program has made some big playoff runs the last few years, and they have really just seem to have gotten better and better throughout the last few years and into one of the most competitive programs in the state. Do you know anything about this year's team and how are signups going? Are a lot of kids signing up?
So I had a chance to meet the team and some prospective players last week. It was a group of excited kids. I'm very excited to get the season started. I do want to say, Coach McPherson did an amazing job over the past 10 years. And, he really built a strong reputation and foundation for this program. And, I'm just excited, to try my best to help keep that going. The outlook for this year, when I talked to the boys last week is, on paper, everybody sees we graduated 9 seniors. Most of those were major contributors. We lost our starting goalie, but, I think these days more than ever, more than back when I played, I think the kids are, young kids are more equipped to handle significant roles on a varsity team. And that goes back to just the way the game has changed since I was growing up playing. It seems like these kids, have tremendous amount of opportunities to get on the ice, and people are playing year round and from multiple teams. And, there's outside skills and skating programs that they're all into. So, I love to see that, but I do think that, it's kind of funny. I think that my young sons are mites, and there was no way that I was as good as them when I was a mite, back when I was playing. So, I see that firsthand, and I'm excited that these young kids coming in to the Hillers program, they're going to have great opportunity, to have a solid spot and a contributing spot on the team. If, I remember back when I played, that's all you can ask for, to have a shot and to be able to go for it and to, secure your spot in a program, that's exciting.
Absolutely. And of course they play at the New England Sports Center as the girls team did for their first time last year. I don't know about you, but I just love the New England Sports Center. I think it's just a great facility they play at. Do you know who's taken over the girls program?
I do not know that right now. The search is ongoing, I think.
How was your experience coaching that program?
It was amazing, Tom. We had a short COVID season, and, I felt like people all around the rinks, were talking about that as it was a bad thing. I thought that the girls program last year, we were able to use those, call it 2 months of the season. And we did an amazing job in establishing a foundation with regards to how we wanted to play the game, how we wanted to work in practice. And the most important thing about any of my program is that on and off the ice, we always stick together. We're always there for each other. So every moment of that girls' year, the season last year was incredible to me. I had no plans of leaving, and it almost had to be the perfect scenario. And I think that perfect storm is exactly what happened, where I was able to stay with Hopkinton High School. That was important to me. And, it just all worked out.
Absolutely. Well, I just thought the atmosphere, even though it was a shortened season last year, was tremendous. And just seemed like all the kids were just happy to be out there on the ice.
Absolutely.
Well, you got an amazing team that you're taking over here. Can you talk about any of the returning players? Have you done any research on any of those guys? They got some great talent coming back from last year.
Yeah, I think we won't go into talking about individual players, but I'm excited for the returning core. From what I hear, I should also be excited for some of the new bodies that we have coming in. But, like I said, the outlook is it's always going to be team first. We're going to take an approach where we don't really care how much experience we've had in the past. We'll be prepared and we'll be ready to play the right way. So, freshmen to seniors, if the skill level's there, they'll be able to make an impact.
And can you tell us about your coaching staff? Do you know who's going to be assisting with you yet?
I'm working on that right now. My brother lives in Hopkinton, and we're trying to make it so he could do it also. So I'm talking to him. I'm talking to some other guys.
Well, Coach, we're excited for the upcoming season. Congratulations. And we're happy that you're returning to Hopkinton. Of course, you'll be in the role now of the boys varsity coach, but we're excited for the season, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much, Tom. Can't wait to get started.
Welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. And right now we are joined by Andy Barron and Jared Keene. Andy Barron from MyFm, Jared Keene from the Metrowest Daily News. Guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm almost doing as good as the Red Sox. They've just been absolutely unstoppable. Their third grand slam of the series last night or Monday night, and they put up 12 runs, took down Houston 12-3. So we're going to start off talking about some Sox, and of course we'll have our NFL picks. We'll talk about the Pats game, and Jared and I disagree on how that game went, so that it'll be an interesting conversation. But we start off with Red Sox talk, as they have just been unstoppable with the bats. They are absolutely on fire right now. And I never thought they would make it this far, but now I'm thinking it's a disappointment if they don't win this series, being up 2-1. They put up 12 runs on Monday. They put up 9 runs on Saturday. Friday, the only game they lost, it was a 5-4 game. Good battle. But 2 grand slams to start off the game on Saturday, one in the first inning, one in the second inning. And then yesterday or Monday was like a home run derby. It's been unbelievable how hot these bats are, guys. Did you ever expect this?
No, nobody saw this coming. Okay. Few things that come to my mind to start. I personally I think the series is over. I would be very surprised if they don't win it now. And I agree with Tom. I think it's a disappointment if they don't. This is the best offensive, not the best offensive team I've seen, but it's the best stretch they've gone through since the 1999 ALDS, when they were absolutely crushing the ball. I have not, even when they won their world championships, I didn't see them. They were very good hitting, but not like this. 3 grand slams is it's unthinkable. You can't even describe it. They're just outplaying the Astros, plain and simple. However, though, if they do somehow lose tonight, you've let the Astros back in, because then you've got to end this thing in Boston. You do not want to go back to Houston, where they really have had problems down there. But right now, the Astros have no pitching. It's alarming. Their pitching is worse than Tampa Bay's. Like they're awful. Like they're not built to score 10 runs like the Red Sox are, in my opinion. You got Pivetta going tonight. You got to feel good, that they will get the job done. But what I'm interested to see is, though, what if they are in a tight game, though? Red Sox have struggled with that a little bit. Like game 1, they were in a tight game. You just don't know what can happen. It's really day to day. But right now, there's no doubt about it. They are completely outplaying Houston right now. Without
a doubt. Jared, what are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. I think Andy said it best. I mean, again, referencing, this is the hottest stretch of bats again, I think since 99. That's a great point. I think to me, this shows, though, that, it doesn't really matter, again, how you play, stretches of the regular season. As long as you get hot at the right time, you're going to give yourself a shot. And I think the Red Sox have shown that right now. I mean, again, this is a very impressive, display with the bats. I'm still not sold on our pitching. But as long as we keep hitting like this, then we don't really need to worry about our pitching.
Right.
Quite
If
frankly.
the bats are going to put up 12 runs,
Especially when the team that we're playing against has played worse pitching than we do right now. So,
Jared, it's a good point because, okay, you give Eduardo Rodriguez, who I think has been very shaky at times this year, you give him 9 runs. Of course, that's going to change the whole mindset. It's going to change the whole mindset. But I will agree, I did not like what he did, and Alex Cora had every right to call him out on that. You do not want to give a team any hope whatsoever. Now, I don't think it will, but this Houston lineup is still very, very good. And you still, they're a very good team too. So, you know, it was probably the heat of the moment. Stuff happens, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, Schwarber, Hernandez, Devers, I mean, Bogarts, all these guys are they're just.
Even Christian Arroyo, I think from the 9-hole last night, had a great game at the plate last night. I mean, it's up and down the lineup right now.
Well, everybody in the starting lineup last night had at least 1 hit, except Renfroe, but he walked twice and scored 2 runs. So everybody in the lineup contributed. This whole lineup was on fire last night.
Oh,
if that continues throughout the series, I don't think there's any doubt they run away with this thing. You just got to hope the bats don't cool down because, yes, there are a lot of question marks when it comes to pitching. I thought Chris Sale looked pretty good in game 1. Glad he's back. He looked, you know, he's not an ace, but he's better than probably what you had. So it's good he's back. I think if this whole team is just on fire, Sale will join in with that. But yes, pitching is a concern. But if you're going to put up 12 runs, 9 runs, a couple grand slams, it's not that much of a concern because you got those bats going like this. They're going to be unstoppable. I don't care what their pitching looks like. And I think it's good that Alex Cora is so good at managing this bullpen, especially in the playoffs. He takes the approach that once a guy starts struggling, he'll pull the plug pretty quick. He's not going to leave that guy in there to get shelled. And as you said, Andy, the important thing is don't let him back in the game. And I think Cora does a great job at managing the bullpen, so you don't see too many teams getting back in these games. But I'm blown away, guys. I am blown away by these bats up and down the lineup. And I think we all knew that they had capability in this lineup to really be a good hitting team, but they haven't shown it like this all season. They had a couple of great stretches, but this is unbelievable how many runs they're putting up.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. And a couple of other things came to my mind too the other day. And I don't know if it's really relevant, but all right, you look at this right now, this team's won 4 championships. And I think we can agree it's unthinkable. We were just happy to see 1 championship. At least I know I was. Okay, they win 1, and I know we're getting a little ahead of here, but they win 1 more. Honestly, like, this might be it. Because really, let's be honest, this team has overachieved. I mean, let's not fool ourselves. We've even admitted on the show.
Well, no. They'll finish last place next year, and then the year after they'll win another one.
It just kind of feels like this could be like if you win a 5th title, it's almost like you got to be kidding me. I mean, what other team has won 5 championships in the last 20 years? The only team that comes to my mind is San Francisco. I think they won 3. So, I mean, this is like, I don't even think the Yankees even did something like this. I mean, this is really an opportunity that they may not get again.
Yeah.
The Yankees
I agree.
The 90s, I thought
they won 4. They won 3 in a row, and then they won. Then they lost to Arizona. Then they didn't win again until 2009. All those 90s teams were unstoppable. I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, I'm also being a realist here too. But is there any doubt in my mind they can win the whole thing now? No, of course not.
And it's looking like you're probably going to have the Braves in the World Series.
Well,
because they're up 2-0 in their series, and the Braves are a good team, but they're not a run machine like your team has been.
No,
they're
not.
But they have the pitching. They have the pitching right now.
Yes, and that Braves team, you know, it's amazing the success that they've had. When they won 19 straight division titles, that will never be duplicated again, ever.
Yeah.
That is absolutely incredible. And then when they had those teams in the 90s, they only won 1 title, but probably the most dominating pitching we've maybe ever seen. So it kind of seems like to me, if Atlanta and Boston make it, that's not a cake. I think the Braves might be tougher than the Dodgers.
Which is crazy to say because the Dodgers and the Giants were probably the two best teams all year.
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers had chances to win those. Now you're going back to LA for 3, tough place to play. But yeah, it'd be crazy to say that the Braves don't have the advantage right now. But I just feel like they'd be a tougher out. I know it sounds weird, but well, I don't know what you two think, but
yeah, I mean the Braves, they have good pitching.
Freddie Freeman,
Yeah.
he
They
is
kind of heated up the same way in the playoffs like you did. Yeah,
And they don't even have Ronald Acuna. Think about that. They don't
I know.
even have Ronald Acuna, who's one of the best players in the league.
And Freddie Freeman, he is really good. Like,
He
I
is.
mean, and it's weird. Like, I mean, out of all the teams in Atlanta, the Braves have the best support. That place can get really loud too.
Yeah.
Like, but we would have the home field advantage, which is just almost unfathomable to think. And they used to be the Boston Braves back in the 1900s.
Right.
Yeah.
The Braves have a lot of the neutral fans too.
Yeah.
A lot of fans kind of hopped onto the Braves bandwagon because they had the TBS days where they had all their games pretty much on
Right.
TBS.
Yeah.
And I know as a kid, I was watching a lot of those Braves games. I love the Braves back in the 90s.
How could you not? That team was
They were ridiculous.
unbelievable. And they should have won more titles, but you may never see a duo like Smoltz, Gladden, and Maddox ever again. I mean, that
Trio,
was,
yeah.
Then they had, they had Fred McGriff, they had Terry Pendleton. I mean, these guys.
David Justice, Ron
David
Gant.
Justice.
Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones. Wow.
Yeah,
Great.
Those were great teams.
Yeah.
some good teams.
What's cool is if you get a Red Sox Braves series, there is so much history with these two teams, these two organizations.
Yeah.
I mean, they're two of the first teams really in baseball. Well, to an extent, the Red Sox weren't always the Red Sox and the Braves weren't always the Braves, but they're two of the most historical franchises in baseball. So I think there'd be so many storylines here and interesting history if you get this series. Obviously, we still got a few games left to go. It ain't over till it's over, as Yogi Berra once said, but a lot of history with these two organizations. I would love to see a Red Sox Braves World Series.
I think Dodgers Red Sox would probably be a bigger draw just because of the, with Mookie Betts and everything and the East and West. I still think it's good either way, but I don't know. I still think the Braves might be a tougher out. I mean, I think we're the better team, but I don't know. You get it, and especially too, you get into a National League park for 3 straight games. That's a little different, guys. I mean, we've seen this happen where, it can be a little weird playing in those National League parks too,
No, definitely. But you're going to have to do that in the World Series either way. So,
I think,
but whatever.
Before we move on to football, I think Andy said it best right away. You have to close out the Astros if you're the Sox. You can't let them get a sniff right now.
Still too talented.
That's the most important thing right now is closing them out.
Yep.
And making sure you do that. Because again, you give that team a sniff, that could end up biting us in the butt.
I'll tell you what, the game tonight is probably the most important game of the series.
Probably.
No doubt.
That game, you're up 3-1. You're feeling good. Even if you drop game 5, you only got to get one in Houston.
Yep.
You got to take at least one more of these games at Fenway.
And you got an
go
early
back
start
to Houston
tomorrow.
just needing one game, but needing 2, I don't think that'll happen.
And you have an early start tomorrow. You got a 5:00 start tomorrow. So, the Astros lose tonight, and they're feeling it now. But
They're done.
this is a monstrous game tonight, no doubt about it.
It certainly is, and hopefully the Red Sox bats last night just totally shut Houston down for the rest of the series. But that's a team with some resilience, so I'm sure they'll be competing hard tonight. But if the bats keep doing what they did last night, forget it. The series is over. If they get a blowout win tonight, I'll have a hard time believing Houston even has a chance. But I do want to move on to football because we had a big Patriots-Dallas game last week. So the Patriots offense, I thought, was great. I thought they looked good. I thought Mac Jones looked good. They put up points. He spread the ball out. He looked really good. I think it was probably Mac Jones's best statistical game. But what did not look good was the horrible, slow defense. I thought it was just awful. It was statistically Belichick's defense worst performance in his coaching history. I think they gave up 567 yards
Yeah,
or something like that. And it was even worse than the Pats Eagles Super Bowl a few years back, where they gave up 530 something yards and lost to Nick Foles. But the defense on Sunday was absolutely awful. And you had so many opportunities to win that game. Dallas shot themselves in the foot so much. They had goal line penalties. They had a fumble towards the end zone. They were doing everything they could to hand you that game, and your defense just could not get off the field. I got to look up the time of possession, but I have to imagine it heavily favored Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
That defense just could not get off the field. And I'll tell you what, with a defense like that, you're not winning anything. You're not going to the playoffs. You might have a 500 record because your offense might make up for some of it. But this defense, they have not convinced me at all that they can compete with a good team. Besides the Tampa game, every single game they've played this season, the defense has been absolutely horrid. What are your thoughts, guys?
Well, I will say, and I said this before we came on the air, that this was the most exciting game I've seen since Tom Brady left. That place was electric. I had some of my family was at that game, and I know they lost. They lost. They did not win the game. Offense, I thought, was the best they've done all year. And let me tell you, they don't call back, that penalty doesn't get called back on Jacoby Myers. Now you're up 21-7. I'm not saying they would have won, but I think the whole tone of the game changes because the Patriots were moving the ball. Mac Jones had 3 straight 20-yard completions. He was looking good. I think the running game continues to get better. Damian Harris had a really good game, guys. He's battling something right now. He's a workhorse. I mean, he's just got to hold on to the football. And Ramondre Stevenson really had a good game as well. I really, really like that. Play calling. Why do we continue to give Brandon Bolden on a 3rd and 1? No, I would even go to Jakob Johnson instead. This is the stuff that's driving me crazy. You're still not getting other people involved. Where's Aguilar? N'Keal Harry, it's my goodness, enough. I can't do this anymore. But Kendrick Bourne, him and Mac Jones are starting to get on the same page. I like him. He goes over the middle. That was a great catch he made, but still, O-line didn't play too bad. I mean, that one hit Mac Jones got, man, this kid's tough. And you know what I like too is that he came back right to Diggs again, who was doing too much showboating on the sideline, a typical Dallas team. And he made him pay for it. That's a good sign that the kid does not get phased. The pick 6 was his fault. I think we can all admit. But, that's part of being a rookie and whatnot. But the 3rd and 23 is inexcusable, especially after a 15-yard penalty. All you had to do, even if they got 10 yards in the play, they're still out of field goal range. You probably win the game. And the other scary thing to think about it is here, guys, this team's only 2 games out of the division, which is just staggering to me because Buffalo lost last night. I'm not saying this team's going to the playoffs because I don't think they are. But, man, it's you win that game, you're 3-3. You're right in the mix of things in the AFC because other teams are not playing well right now. So, I think they beat the Jets this week, but who knows at this point?
Well, time of possession, Dallas, 39 minutes, 17 seconds. Patriots, 26 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That right there says it all. The defense couldn't get off the field. The offense was clicking.
They were.
And the defense, they were just awful. They were terrible.
Did they run twice as many plays as us? Didn't they
82
have double
plays, Jared. 82 plays Dallas ran.
Yep.
Which is
How many did we run? How many did we run?
Oh, not even close to that. Probably, 55? Maybe? And this game went into overtime. The Patriots defense was totally gassed. But I will say, Judon and J.C. Jackson, they are legit. Those are legit players. And I really thought Justin Bethel really had a good game. So there is some bright spots. I love Judon. He's an all-pro. I think we all can agree. But there's just the other guys are just not making plays.
I think they might be the worst defense in the league right now. I really do.
I don't know about worst defense in the league. They're probably down there. I don't know about worst.
They're up there.
That's a bold one.
All right, Jared, what are your thoughts?
I mean, where do I start? I think first off, again, I think this is one of the best games the Pats have played this season, defensive side. Tom, I agree with you. Obviously, the defense got gashed. I mean, you allow close to 600 yards of offense. That's inexcusable. But I think this is a game where I think a lot of people probably expected the Pats to get blown out here, and we didn't. We hung with a really good and really talented football team. Dak Prescott is playing very well. Amari Cooper is a beast. CD Lamb is, say what you want about him showboating there, but the guy is an outstanding player. He made some terrific catches. He had an absurd game.
He absolutely burned Mills
twice.
Yeah. And I'm starting to think maybe Mills was a waste of money, because to get burned like that by CD Lamb twice, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. That was
bad.
They're a talented football team, really. And that Dallas offensive line, they're big.
They're physical. They're
very similar to those 90s O-lines they had.
Yep.
They're a talented team, guys. And I said that before.
Leon,
yeah, 12 penalties. They're too undisciplined. It's been like this forever with Dallas. They're a
talented team, but I mean, the Pats spent $165 million in the offseason.
Andy, you mentioned Aguilar. That drop by Aguilar, come on. Give me a break.
That's he catches that.
That was a touchdown.
There was
a touchdown.
Nobody there.
Aguilar is famous for his drops, though. We should all know that from his Philly
You guys know I've been high on Aguilar all year. You guys were much higher on Aguilar than me throughout the whole season, even preseason.
Kendrick Bourne's their best receiver.
I was just happy they had a legitimate receiver in there, or a somewhat legitimate.
Bourne's their best receiver. He's the best receiver right now.
And why they only throw to him twice? They need to use him more. He has.
And Hunter Henry.
I like Jacoby Myers still, but
yeah. And Hunter Henry.
Bourne is playing very well right now.
Hunter Henry's playing well, but they don't target him enough. He's getting better. And Jonnu Smith, boy, I was wrong on him. He has been horrible for this team.
I don't know.
He needs more targets. They haven't been targeting him enough, to be quite frankly.
No, they're not.
Get him the ball more.
Yeah, the play calling's been awful. They're not spreading the ball out enough. And they were targeting numerous guys.
Part to me. That's the worst part to me is the play calling right now.
Yeah.
McDaniels has been way, way, way too, and we've talked about this all season, guys. The play calling has been way too inconsistent, I guess. Yeah, and at points atrocious. And that's inexcusable. When you're calling, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if they're babying Mac Jones or what they're doing, but they should be spreading the ball out more. They should be targeting some of these other guys that they got. Target Jonnu Smith more. I know he hasn't been good. He's been a huge disappointment, but at least give him the chance to be good, because he was such a beast in Tennessee. I have a hard time believing that if you don't target him more and find him in the open field more, he's not going to contribute. They should utilize Hunter Henry more. He's been excellent. And that's a player that you should certainly go after. Why did you only throw to Kendrick Bourne twice? Why don't you have him out there more snaps? This guy's the fastest guy on the field. Why aren't you using these guys? What are you doing out there?
It's
awful.
These are great questions to ask, because Kendrick Bourne has been running. He runs really good routes too. I just like it. Listen, it was very frustrating because they very well could have won this game. They should have won the Miami game. Look at how bad the Dolphins are right now. That's the game that bothers me the most. I mean, Tampa and Dallas.
Me too.
They're good, really good teams. The Saints game was just awful. I mean, that happens, but
no, this game bothers me the most because you should have won this game. And I know Dallas on paper has more talent than you, but Dallas shot themselves in the foot. They had 12 penalties, and a lot of them were at crucial moments.
Oh, yeah.
But you gave up 567 yards. I don't care who's on Dallas. That is inexcusable. In my opinion, with the way Mac Jones played and the way the offense played, there was no excuse to lose this game. You should have won this game. And if you spent $165 billion in the preseason on free agents, well, I hope you're doing that to be a playoff team, because why else would you do it if you don't think that you're going to make the playoffs? They were shooting for the playoffs this year. And right now they're sitting at 2-4 with one of the worst defenses in the league. So, it was an entertaining game, but it was, in my opinion, not a good game for this Pats team, especially the defense. They were just awful. You can't do this against good opponents. You give up 500 yards to a good opponent, chances are you're going to lose. So are you going to do this against every good offense that you face?
Tom, that was an epic rant. That was epic. That's up there. That might be in the rant Hall of Fame right there. You were fired up there.
I am.
That's a good one.
He's fired up. Listen,
I'm only going to say I'm only going to go agree with Andy here on the Dolphins game because of how bad of a team the Dolphins are. We lost to a good football team yesterday. As frustrating as it was, we lost to a good football team. The Dolphins are a bad football team.
But well, we know that. Like, don't you expect this Pats team?
I don't think the Pats are a good football team either, but we lost to a really bad football team in week 1. And that's inexcusable. Yeah. That's just downright inexcusable.
Yeah, another game the defense couldn't get off the field, by the way.
That was the Dolphins.
All right, let's get into our picks.
Yeah.
So last week, me and Jared were neck and neck throughout the whole week. We went both 11-3 last week, so we had some good weeks.
It's funny, we lost to the Chargers and the Bills. Who thinks we would lose on the Chargers and the Bills? Come on, man.
I know. Wow, what the heck happened to the
Chargers got absolutely rolled. Wow. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was bad. The way the Ravens are good.
They got torn apart. That was a statement win for the Ravens.
No doubt. Yeah.
That game last night was awesome. I had a great time watching that game last night.
Derrick Henry, he's unstoppable. How do you even defend this guy? He is a absolute machine. Like
he's a tank.
You can't bring him down.
Last night, though, I'm sitting there wondering, how did this team lose to the Jets?
Yeah. I thought the same thing. Well, they just
how. Anyways, Steve went 11-3. Mike went 10-4. Andy went 7-7, and Kevin went 6-8.
Kevin under 500, man.
Well, Kevin, man, he's really struck.
Overall records, I'm in the lead, 65-29. Jared, you're 3 games behind me, 62-32, right in there. Mike is 7 games out at 58-36. Steve is 7 games out at 58-36. Andy is 13 games out at 52-42. And Kevin's 21 out at 44-50. And we do have Kevin's picks. He's not on the show today, but we do have his picks. So
okay.
All right, so let's get into it. Thursday night football, Denver at Cleveland. This Browns team is beat up. I actually thought about going with Denver, but after seeing how horrible they were against the Raiders last week, I had to go Cleveland. Even if Baker Mayfield doesn't play, I still think Cleveland could pull this off at home. So I'll go Browns. Kevin went Browns. Jared, what are you doing?
I got to go Browns. Again, Broncos looked awful the other day. I think you have no choice but to go with the Browns here. Yeah, Browns. Andy's going Denver. I can see it. Andy's going Denver.
All right, Andy.
I am taking the Broncos because I think the Browns are on their way down. Baker Mayfield swearing at the media the other day, acting like a total crybaby. Beckham Martin now said he wants out. This team is on the way down. This is going to be an ugly football game, but I think the Broncos are going to pull it out. Listen, Noah Fant is a very good tight end for that team. They still have a good running game. So if Mayfield doesn't play, Bridgewater still is pretty good. But this is going to be an ugly game, but I need some wins here. I got to take the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos.
I have a feeling it's going to be like a 13-10.
It's going to be a crap game.
Yep. All
Broncos. Right. Let's go.
Broncos, you're in. All right. Carolina at the New York Giants. Speaking of bad football games.
Is anybody taking the Giants? Did Kevin take the Giants here?
He took Carolina.
I don't think anybody's taking the Giants.
Since you talked,
I'm surely not taking the Giants.
No, that team is
atrocious.
Are we all Carolina?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I thought. Giants are a train wreck. Jets at Patriots. If it was somebody better than the Jets after watching that horrid defense last week, I might pick against New England, but how can you with the Jets? This will hopefully be a revenge game, and they'll just plow over the Jets. I don't even want this game to be close. If this game is close, that is not good. That doesn't mean you're going in a good direction. But I think Pats are going to win. Anybody going with the Jets?
No.
All right. Kevin has the Patriots as well.
Thank goodness.
All right. Kansas City at Tennessee. Kevin went Tennessee on this one. I was really going back and forth on this one, but I'm going to go Kansas City just because Tennessee lost to the Jets. I feel like they're due for a bad game. They beat Buffalo last night. That was a tough physical game. Maybe they'll beat up this week. I think this is going to be a good game, though. Probably the best game of the 1 o'clock games. I'll go Kansas City. Andy, who do you got?
I'm taking Kansas City as well, but I think it's going to be a tight game. Tennessee is tough at home, and something still does not look right with this Chiefs team. I mean, I know they won last week, but they still just look out of sorts. And this Tennessee team is a lot better than the Washington football team. I think we can agree. And so I think it's going to be close. It's going to be close, but I like the Chiefs here. I do like the Chiefs in this game.
All right. Milford High might be better than the Washington football team. Jared, who are you going with?
Well, Milford High, tough loss to KP the other night. Tough loss.
Yes. They're due for one.
I'm going to go back. This is a tough one, honestly. I'm going to go Tennessee here. I think that was a great win for Tennessee, obviously, last night. If they can keep that momentum rolling, I think they certainly have a good shot against the Chiefs team that obviously has a very suspect defense and is still trying to figure out a few things. Again, I think it could be close, but I'm going to go Tennessee here.
Yeah, Kansas City, they did look good against Washington, but it's Washington, so
I think it's a game where I could also, if I win this one, I can get another game on you, Tom. Because I know you took Kansas City, and I don't feel crazy about taking Tennessee here. So
no, I think this game could go either way.
This
was one of the toughest games to pick. Washington at Green Bay. Is anybody going Washington?
No.
No.
No chance.
Green Bay across the board. Kevin has Green Bay too. Oh, here's the dumpster fire of the week. Atlanta at Miami.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going Atlanta. I guess they were less worse than Miami.
I thought you'd go Hamilton pick here, Tom. I thought you'd use your Hamilton pick.
Yeah, I'll use my tie card too. This could very well be a tie. I'll use my Hamilton card.
These two teams are dreadful to watch. And I kind of feel bad in a way because I think this might be it for Brian Flores. It does not look good for them in the future of Miami right now.
Kevin went Miami, by the way.
You took the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going the Falcons.
All right.
I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah. Jared?
I'm going Hamilton card / I don't know, man.
It's a bad game.
Flip a coin.
If Calvin Ridley plays, I'm going Falcons. If not, I'm going. I don't know. Yeah, I'll go Falcons, I guess. / Hamilton card.
All right.
What a dumpster fire! Jesus,
awful.
That game's gonna be horrible.
Probably get tickets for like $5 to go to that game.
Hey, the London game was somewhat entertaining, though. Jacksonville, Miami.
It was
an entertaining game.
Yeah.
But it was like both teams were trying to lose that game. I didn't feel like any of them were actually trying to win it.
Although, actually, I missed that game, to be completely honest with you guys. I was at a wedding this weekend and was probably not up for that on Sunday.
It's married on a football Sunday. Come on, people. All right, Cincinnati at Baltimore to close out the 1 o'clock games. This should be a battle. This is a crucial battle for the AFC North. I think Cincinnati will make it a game, but Baltimore seems to just be on fire right now. So I'm going to go Baltimore. Kevin went Baltimore. Jared, what are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going Baltimore here. I think, again, I think Cincinnati is a good football team. We've talked about that. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, definitely. But you look at Baltimore's win against the Chargers, that's extremely impressive. They're playing at an extremely high level right now. Lamar Jackson is really, really turning it on right now. I think I got to go Baltimore here. I'd be stupid if I didn't take Baltimore here, I think. But again, that Cincinnati team is a good football team.
They are. They're going to compete, I think. Those division games, they always end up being close for the most part. Andy, who do you got?
I'm taking Cincinnati, and here's why. This is could be an emotional letdown for the Ravens. They pounded the Chargers last week. They have struggled with the Bengals the last couple of years. I am really, really liking the way Joe Burrow and Mixon and Chase are playing. This kind of reminds me a little bit of those 80s teams that the Bengals had. Very good offensive teams. And this is going to be a really tight game. And I think the Bengals are going to get a statement win here. This is a team that is really flying under the radar right now.
All right. moving on to the 4:00 games. And by the way, I agree. I think that game's going to be close. Cincinnati, Baltimore. They always seem to play close.
Come on, Cincinnati. Give me a win here.
You need it.
I do need it.
Detroit at the Rams. Is anyone going Detroit?
Not a chance.
Listen, real quickly.
This is going to be like 72-0.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford being traded to the Rams, that is a franchise-altering decision that the Lions made.
Yep.
Oh, this game's going to be interesting, too, watching Stafford play against the Lions.
And then watching Goff play against the Rams.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, I mean, this game is not even going to be close. The Rams are a juggernaut offensively. It is.
Cooper Kupp is legit.
Oh, he's
Cooper Kupp is
unbelievable.
really good, man.
And Van Jefferson, the son of Sean, former Patriots receiver Sean Jefferson, man, that Rams team is good. I mean, no shot.
All right, Rams across the board.
Did Kevin take the Rams? Please tell me Kevin took the Rams.
Yes, he did.
Okay, good.
He probably thought about Detroit for a while, though.
He probably did. He definitely did.
The Lions, just awful.
Philly at the Raiders. This game, I have no idea how this is going to go. This is going to be an interesting one. Kevin took the Raiders. What's Andy taking?
I'm taking the Raiders, and here's why. I got to give them credit. I thought they were not going to win last week after everything.
I believe I picked that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you did. And they looked good. I mean, you got to give them credit. After everything they went through with John Gruden, you're on the road in Mile High, which is still a very tough place to play, and you won pretty handedly. That Raiders team is still very talented. That could really change their whole season right there, really. And the Eagles they're a mess. I mean, no, Raiders. I'm taking Raiders.
All right, Jared.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders here too. Again, it worked for me last week. I'm going to take them again. Again, Philly has been way too inconsistent this year. You know, Philly has looked good at times and has a couple of decent wins, but they've also looked really inconsistent. I guess so have the Raiders, but I think the Raiders are going to be riding high right now. That was, like Andy said, I think that could potentially be a season-altering whatever for them. So, yeah, give me the Raiders.
Yeah, both of these teams, you really don't know what they're going to do any given week. I mean, the Raiders beat the Broncos. It's not the most impressive win, but they dominated that game. I thought the Broncos were actually going to win because I thought the Raiders were totally falling apart.
Yeah.
But maybe I was wrong. But I think this is going to be a close game because I think Hurts is a pretty good quarterback. I think he's looked really good at times this year, but I got to go Raiders just because of the talent. I just think that offense. You're going
to take the Eagles here, Tom. Dang.
That offense, I almost did, but the Raiders offense, I mean, they should be winning. They should be in pretty much all their games with that offense.
Yep.
All right, Houston at Arizona. Anyone going Houston?
No, I like Arizona.
Oh my God, the Texans are so bad. Arizona is the best team in the NFL right now.
Yep.
We need to start having give it away prize to someone that could spot Andy's cat. They always show up somewhere. I just saw them walking up the stairs.
They're coming down the stairs right now. Oh, this game's going to be horrible. I mean, Cardinals are almost, I think they're like a 15-point favorite. I mean, it's not.
Should be more.
I'll take Arizona with the points.
Yeah.
Kevin went Arizona. I'm going Arizona. They should manhandle Houston. Shouldn't even be a game. Chicago at Tampa Bay. Is anyone going to go Chicago?
No.
All right. Tampa Bay across the board.
Please tell me Kevin took Tampa Bay.
He did. Yep.
Very good.
I think Chicago might somehow keep this game somewhat close, and then Tampa Bay just pulls away.
Tampa's too good. They're just too good. I mean,
too much talent.
Exactly.
And they're just going to keep getting better and better as the season goes on, I think.
Yep.
Indy at San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. This is an interesting game. I am very torn on this one. Kevin went Indy. Jared, who are you going with?
Where is this game?
In San Francisco.
Oh, man. San Francisco's had a few injuries recently. I don't know what Kittle's status is. If Kittle plays, maybe I might go. I'm actually torn on this one.
All right, we'll get back to you. I'm going Indy. I'm very torn, but I'll go Indy. Andy, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Indy too. I just think the Niners, you don't know what you're going to get out of this team. There's so much I realize there's just so much tension with this team right now with quarterbacks and all that. And the Colts, I'm not really sold on them either, but they have played better the last couple of weeks. And I I'm going to go with them. I'm going to take them again this week. I'm going to go with the
Indy's
Colts.
played much better the last couple of weeks. Wentz has
Yeah.
looked good. I'm just waiting for him to get hurt again.
Yep,
I'm wishing that he gets hurt again, but it just.
Tom, I'm going Colts here because I don't really know. I don't think there's much to get excited about right now with the 49ers.
Oh.
I think you have to be encouraged by the way the Colts are playing. Andy made a good point there. That sold me. I'm taking the Colts.
All right, Indy across the board. Kevin has Indy too. Monday Night Football, New Orleans at Seattle. Russell Wilson will be out of this game. I do not have faith in Geno Smith, but New Orleans, they haven't looked great either, but Saints are just getting off the bye week, so they're well rested. I'm going to go New Orleans in what'll probably be a somewhat close game. Seattle did give Pittsburgh all they could handle last week. But Pittsburgh, I mean, to me, they're nothing but a mediocre team this year.
Yep.
I'm going to go New Orleans on this one. Kevin went Seattle on this one. Andy, who are you going with?
I'm taking the Saints as well. I just think the let's face it, Seattle's not the same team with Russell Wilson. There's no comparison between Geno Smith and Russell Wilson. And however, Pete Carroll did mention he contacted Cam Newton. Does that happen?
It could.
Maybe.
I could see it. Definitely.
I can see it.
Pete Carroll's the kind of guy that would do that too.
You think he's better than Geno Smith?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Geno Smith actually didn't look bad the other day, though. He didn't look awful.
No.
Looked a lot better than I thought he would look, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm flashing back right now to those games that Cam Newton threw for like 6 yards. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a toss-up, really. I think Newton probably he probably is, but who knows what Cam Newton you'll get. Jared, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints here. I think if Russell Wilson was playing, obviously I would take the Seahawks. But I think with the Saints coming off a bye week, that was a chance for them to get healthy a little bit, figure some things out. Maybe they'll get Alvin Kamara going. Again, every time you have Alvin Kamara, you have a chance to win a football game. So I want to take the Seahawks so I can try to get one on you here, Tom, but I don't know if this is the place to do it. I think I got to go to New Orleans coming off a bye.
Well, you're only 3 games back, so don't be like Kevin and every single week pick opposite.
I know.
Because look what happened to Kevin. 44.
I know.
Did Kevin take Jacksonville? Did he take Jacksonville last week? Did anybody pick the
No, he took Miami. Miami lets him down against Jacksonville. He takes him again. Well, they're playing Atlanta, so I guess I could see that.
Yeah.
But, I always feel good when it's all 3 of us picking against Kevin, though. I almost feel like I should, do a parlay with Atlanta and New Orleans now. Because I just, he hasn't had much luck when we all pick against him. So, but anyways, that is the games for week 7. Man, does the season just fly? And there's our picks.
Teams on bye this week too. Who's on bye this week? Jacksonville is on.
The bye weeks are Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Chargers, Jags, Minnesota, Dallas, and my fantasy team.
And my fantasy.
Yeah.
All right, we're just about out of time, guys. Any final thoughts?
Just this Patriots Jets game. I mean, listen, if they do lose this game, then I'm done.
I'm out on this team. If they lose this team, I'm out on this team.
Then you're playing for a draft pick. If you lose this, if you don't, well, maybe. But
if you lose, trade everything away, play for the draft pick at that point.
Yep.
Burn it down. You're not going anywhere. Pretty much this is going to be a lot of must-win games for them now, but
when's our bye week?
Close.
Our bye week is not until December 12th, which
is just absurd.
Oh, that is
insane.
Rough.
It's brutal.
All right. Well, we are out of time. For Jared Keene, Andy Barron, I'm Tom Nappy. Thanks for watching HCAM Sports Talk. Goodbye, everybody.